This will be a mental health series. This is similar to something I did quite a few years ago, but no longer exists on the channel anymore. Now, when talking about mental health and stuff of that nature, I believe at least the way that I want to do it is transparency. So, quite a few disclaimers here. I am not a professional. I have never been trained. I just suffer with a hell of a lot of mental health problems slash quote unquote conditions. And I've been through a lot in my life. So, not professional, no training whatsoever. This is just me as a human being, just talking through experiences, possibly talking through, again, quote unquote, conditions. And that is it, basically. I hope through this series that I will possibly be able to work through some stuff, maybe be able to help people, maybe. But mainly it's because I'm not a professional. I guess this is a place where I can talk that is safe and will be safe for you guys. So whether you guys get in on the conversation or not, that is completely up to you, and I completely understand. But more so, this is kind of a safe place. I can express myself. You guys can express yourself. Within that, though, trigger warnings. I'm not intending to trigger anyone. I don't want that, but obviously when talking about mental health, stuff can get quite heavy, stuff can get quite serious, as it should be with mental health. Yeah, so I'm not intending to trigger, but trigger warnings ahead. Okay, guys. This one's probably going to be a rough one, and maybe a bit dark. So I know I say it at the intro, but trigger warnings all around. I don't really know what I want to say in this video, but I know I've got a lot resting on my heart, and the channel is where I come to. I think I'm going to call this episode anniversary. And if I do, then as the title implies, it is an anniversary, and it is. This month is the anniversary that I lost my nan. And she's gone. And it's really weird, right? Because in my head, I'm making a lot of progress on my mental health journey. And within that is also the grief that everyone tell me, and I believe as well, I've not dealt with. I've not dealt with the death of my nan and granddad. And it's weird, right? Because this kind of journey I've been on, especially with grief, or more accurately, with grief specifically, it's weird, right? Because when everything happened with my nan and my granddad, I couldn't even say nan and granddad. It was really weird. I couldn't say it, and then I couldn't say and even now I'm struggling. I couldn't say death when it's connected to my nan and granddad. And this is really weird, right? Because does that part in my brain that knows that they're not in pain anymore, and they were my nan more so was in a lot of pain, at least with the things that I understand of it, was in a lot of pain, on a lot of spectrums, was in a lot of pain, and that weird thing, right? Hollywood likes to portray that that's a comfort, and it's no comfort at all. I'm still angry, I'm still confused, I'm still upset, I'm still raw, right? It's still raw. And you know, I just kind of, it's weird because it started hitting me yesterday, and then today it's just dropped, right? And inside my head, I'm just fucking angry about it. And there's a lot of stuff connected to that, but I'm also in a lot of pain, and that can confuse and mix shit up. Because we're human, right? And we have these emotions, and we're quite small and quite vulnerable and easy to break and all that shit. At least on paper, anyway. And although, again, like the first time that I could say Nan and Granddad out loud to someone in connection, to their deaths, I was like, oh, maybe this is, oh, okay, I'm moving, not, I don't think I'll ever move on from it, but that side of me that was like, I don't really know the correct word here, because it's definitely not moving on, and I don't want to move on because that sounds cheap and nasty and plastic. Progressing, I was making steps within the grief, right? And then today's hit, and it's just knocked me on my ass, guys. And I've been pacing up and down for about an hour and a half, 2 hours listening to music, because that's what I go to, right? That's my kind of go to when my head goes nuts. But I'm still struggling, and I think I said it in one of the videos on this sort of topic, or I've said it to people, that the confusion with me and it still makes me angry. The world keeps turning, and what I mean by that is everyone else, it's a normal day. Who and you're expected to do that. And if you don't, yes, you may get comfort. Yes, you may get people then shift and try and help, right? But I'm really struggling today with this concept of the idea. It's been put forward to me is the best thing to do is to get over it and move on. And I see, in my head, that's a betrayal of their memory. And maybe that's because that's part of grief, and that's part of that entire fucked up grieving thing that I'm doing that I've not reached to yet, maybe. But, memory and honoring, I think, is really important. And I don't think just the quote unquote moving on and getting on with your life is doing that. I think it's the opposite, actually. And I'm not saying like every single day, because there are days now where I'm okay. And that's amazing. And I love that for myself, and I love that for other people. But is then that contradiction in my head, right? That's like, I have to do better, I have to be stronger, faster, mentally more defensive, emotionally more reserved, and I have to kind of stay on this path and trying to do them proud. And again, it's all muddled up in this gloop that's kind of being stirred, that's being stirred and being festered. And it's weird. It's really weird. I don't really know what the message of this video is, because I do tend to try and do a message with these mental health videos. And I think for me, this one is more just trying to get my thoughts and feelings out in my sanctuary, right? This is my place, this is my sanctuary, this is my safe place. I'm going to pin a song in the comments. Please be careful. If I had it my way, I'd pin 100 comments, but I'm not gonna do that. Or pin 100 songs. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna. I've lost track of where my mind was going. I'm gonna pin a comment down below, and it's gonna have a song. Please be careful. And if people really are going to listen to it, I'm okay, guys. I'm not. Well, not. But I'm not gonna do anything stupid, because a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but the rare few will actually listen to it, hear it, and be like, oh my god, Neo's gonna go on Warpath now and go nuclear. That's not the case. It's just songs that I'm trying to listen to understand my own pain. I do that quite a lot with songs, and especially with this, right? It still does, but people would say, this is just grief, and it's like everyone goes through grief differently, which I get, but it's that thing of then the same people or the same person will then put a timeline on it of you got to keep living. It's like, well, which one is it? Like it's. Again, there's tons of contradictions within this, and maybe that's just the nature of grief, maybe, or part of the nature of grief. But yeah, again, I expect this has sounded a lot like rambling, honestly. But it's not, and it's been good, and to kind of get this out, even if maybe I'm only going to make sense to one or two people, that's fine. But, this whole process that I'm trying to go through, this whole journey, has been rough, and it's been tough, and it's taking its toll. So, I'm probably going to step back from the stuff. Don't worry, stuff's already set up on the channel, by the way. So there's gonna be nothing missing weekly or whatever. But at least for a week, I think I just need to I've stalled the engine. I need to take a second. So yeah, again, I don't really know if any of this has made any sense, but it's just kind of what was weighing on my heart, and yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna stop yammering, because I feel like I'm gonna break down and cry. I don't really like showing that side. I know I've done it a few times, but yeah. So um, yeah. Bye, guys.